Guess who's back, guys? It is me, Avilo, with a metagame update, a Legacy of the Void metagame update. I'm the StarCraft 2 balance sheriff in town. Just got here. Just got to these neck of the woods, and got some here balance things to discuss with all you folks, all you fine folks out there. No, but really, I have to make this video because. Oh my god. I'm just shaking my head right now. Okay, so to start off, current balance of the game. Let me go over general balance of the game. Is the game balanced? Fuck no. the game right now is it's almost as bad as Broodlord Infestor, it's almost as bad as 2011 in terms of game balance. PvZ and ZVP, I think I've played both of those matchups. I've played from both sides of the matchup. And I don't know, it's interesting because I feel like Protoss and Zerg both are way better than Terran at the moment. But I feel like, from having played Zerg against Protoss and Protoss against Zerg, I feel like they're a little broken in different ways. So let me explain. Protoss doesn't need splash damage anymore for a lot of the game. A lot of the games I see Protoss playing, they've gone back. At least, all right. So when I play Zerg against Protoss, most of my games are literally Protoss doing 2 base all-ins. Every single game. It reminds me very much of Immortal Sentry all-ins, when Protoss basically, Terran also could not beat Broodlord Infestor, and so every Protoss alive was just going 2 base Immortal Sentry all-in to try and kill the Zerg before they ever got to late game. So, there's that. And then, on the opposite side of things, from the Protoss perspective against Zerg, it's exactly that. I feel like if the Zerg gets to the mega late game, Protoss just loses. The Zergs that are really good at turtling with the... If you play... I mean, I know because I play this style when I play Zerg, and when I get to late game in Zerg, I feel like I can't lose. I feel like it's impossible to lose the game because Vipers are really broken and Ultras are really broken. Zerg Hive Tech is incredibly broken at the moment. So I feel like if Zerg gets to late game, if I'm a Protoss player and Zerg gets there, if they get there, does this sound familiar? This is exactly like the old Broodlord Infestor. They got there. They made 40 Infestors and Broodlords. They got there to the late game. They deserve to win. So it feels, this meta, it feels quite stupid to me. The way the game currently is. Where Protoss just basically does that. As a matter of fact, I think Protoss, it's sort of weird because the Adepts are really, really, really strong, if not too strong. Same thing with Ravagers. And Terran, what does Terran have? If you look at Protoss, you look Adepts are really strong, if not OP. They completely destroy Terran. Protoss can get a third base really quickly against Terran, and then just make only gateway units and win without any splash damage, which is what a lot of people were asking for. But the problem is, Terran was given nothing to fight these new threats, essentially, because the Cyclone, we have the Cyclone. The problem is that the Cyclone was nerfed 15 times, essentially. So there's that. So overall balance in general, I feel like Adepts and Ravagers. Let me go down the line. So Protoss and Zerg. Back to Zerg real quick. There's too many Zerg things that are broken right now to even speak. Roach Ravager. Zerg players can literally mass Roach Ravager every single game, whether it's Bio or Mech or Sky Terran or whatever the Terran is trying to do to beat this broken unit. Ravagers are just absurd. You shouldn't be able to just build Ravager Roach against literally everything the Terran player does, and then get up to Hive Tech for free, and then on top of the Roach Ravager nonsense, then the Zerg makes 8 armor ultras and parasitic bomb, which are also huge issues with the game that I have, because the only counters to Vipers are ghosts, and once the Zerg gets there to that comp of like the mass Broodlord Viper with the ultras underneath and stuff, the game becomes unmanageable, especially because snipe, ghost snipe could be a counter to a lot of this nonsense. The problem is, if the ghost gets hit by anything, then the snipe is cancelled, and then the ghost dies, and you lost a really expensive unit, and the Zerg lost nothing. I feel like they should make snipe almost instant cast, so that way it promotes, the Zerg actually has to build an army that can engage into you. And if he wants to build this Death Ball, or this Broodlord Ultra Death Ball, then you actually have a counter to a reliable counter. Because right now, it's hard to take an engagement, because if you do the snipe thing, and like a Broodling hits a ghost or something, or a fungal, like, you know, your 10 ghosts or whatever are just dead, and you've lost the game. Game's over. So that's what I think of the overall balance, Protoss Zerg. Let me go to Terran here. Terran is in the shittiest state I've ever seen in StarCraft 2 since the game has been out. The game right now for Terran, and this is gonna be brutal fucking honesty, and I know not many people are gonna take that in the community, and people want to hear that the game is puppies and rainbows and it's fine. Stop complaining. Well, fuck off. This needs complaint. People need to complain about this, otherwise it won't be fixed. Terran is fucking broken. Like, you can't go mech. You can't, like, there's only one, Terran players are basically forced into one strategy right now, which is bio plus Liberators. Especially, this, and this goes for even more so at competitive level, at pro level. How many mech games have we seen from Terran? Pretty much none. Maybe there's been one or two, and then there's been not, like, out of like probably, you know, over hundreds of games now, maybe it's only bio. It's only bio. But the thing is, this is worse than before, because now nobody goes mech, because like mech is just absurdly worse than bio. And on top of that, bio's not even that good either compared to, like, bio is actually worse too. The Marauder got a nerf for some reason. You know why? It's sort of confusing to me. I feel like they should revert that and make the Marauder actually be able to kill units again. That might be why Ravagers and like Protoss pure gateway armies seem so fucking stupid to play against right now, because the Marauder nerf to the attacks, it attacks twice now instead of just once. But let's talk about the big elephant in the room, or not in the room rather, because this is disgusting to me. I think every other player that enjoys playing more than one strategy in the game will agree. Blizzard purposely has continuously killed mech over and over again throughout the course of StarCraft 2. They refuse to make any strategy other than bio viable, and they're basically shoving this shit down our throats, where you have to play bio, or you basically lose the game as Terran, or you're at such a disadvantage that you have to like jerry-rig the game. You have to build like 50 turrets around your base and turtle for half an hour to make mech work, and that's not what anyone wants. That's not what I want. That's not what anyone that plays Terran wants. What we want is some variety. I've been streaming a lot of off-race Zerg, and people, I see some people mentioning, like, damn, Avilo laughs a lot and like has a lot of fun. Like, seems to have a lot of fun when he's playing Zerg, and that's partly because Zerg is broken and it's really easy to play right now. It's brain dead to play, but that's also, if we want to be completely real here, it's also because the reason Zerg is fun, putting balance aside, the reason Zerg is so fun is because there's so many different ways you could play Zerg right now. There's too many different ways, in my opinion, but there's the fact is, there's so many viable strats. I can go Ling Bailing Muta. I can go Mass Roach Ravager. I can play Lurker Turtle. I can sit there and turtle with Lurkers and Spore Crawlers. I can play I can go up to Hive Tech, Mass Viper bullshit. I can play Ultra Ling. I can play Mass Ling Bailing. There's so many, fucking abuse Nidus. Like, there's so many ways. There's so many different styles and things you can do with Zerg. It is, it is fun. It's fucking fun. That's how the game should be. I'm not saying there's anything wrong there. That's how the game fucking should be to play. You can even go, like, infest. I'm sure there's some way you can make Swarmhost viable, and infestors are definitely like, there's so many ways, and that's partly, I know I said balance aside, that's also partly why Zerg is imbalanced, because there are so many things you can do. But I feel like, and I think Protoss sort of received a little of the same treatment. Like, there's so many things. Warp prisms. I think I got to talk about warp prisms for a moment. Warp prisms are fucking bullshit. I mean, they received a lot of buffs in the past, but being able to pick up units from so far away and then warp in mass adepts and then the adepts on top of that, like, shade the different bases. Like, there's some ridiculous stuff, right? Like, Protoss, I feel like Protoss just... You know how Terran, people used to complain about medevacs? Like, Protoss players used to say, like, medevacs are really annoying to play. Well, I feel like warp prisms are, like, worse than medevacs ever were. They're basically the Protoss medevac now. Like, people are actually... I mean... Obviously, the game has been out for, like, over 5 years now. Or around 5 years or something like that. And it took a while for people to realize how broken and good warp prisms were. But then all the buffs that warp prisms have got during that time to speed, health, warp in times. Although they got nerfed warp in times. But, it's like, Protoss is absurd at the moment, too, against Terran. Like, and so what's the problem here? Why? So let me get to the biggest issue here of this video. Terran sucks right now. Why? Let's figure. Let me describe to you why exactly these issues are cropping up. And I just sort of did with you basically just play bio every game. Terran has nothing, like, everything new that Terran had. There's 2 new units. This is Legacy of the Void. This is the last expansion. We were promised mech, Wings of Liberty. We were promised mech. They nerfed it over and over again. Heart of the Swarm, they said, we'll make mech viable. They added the Hellbat. The Hellbat was literally added in the game to help make mech more viable. They kept nerfing mech over and over again. And then, now we get to Legacy of the Void. They nerfed the Raven, they nerfed the tank, they nerfed, like, everything's been nerfed. Like, every single mech unit, but remember, 2 new units for Terran. What are the 2 new units? Cyclones and Liberators. Which one of these units is useless? I'm ready to hold up the middle finger here to Blizzard. There's the useless unit, Cyclone. This unit makes no sense right now. I remember when the beta first started, and people were saying Cyclones were really overpowered. And back then, people weren't even abusing Adepts or Ravagers properly. But Terrans, Terran units are usually early and mid-game oriented, but Cyclones used to be really good. You could actually go mech. You could go aggressive offensive mech. I remember because I played when the beta first came out, and I was actually playing attacking mech games where I was expanding quickly across the map and building Cyclones, tanks. I was building lots of mechs. It felt like Cyclone tank felt like Tank Goliath from StarCraft 1. Like, Cyclones were actually really good to build, and while they were too strong to begin with, they got nerfed into oblivion. They got, like, vision nerf. You have to be within vision to keep the lock-on. They got a lock-on nerf. They got a lock-on range nerf. They got a health nerf. They got every nerf in the book. So the unit just became useless. So basically, a huge issue with Terran right now is they made mech overall, in combination with the Cyclone sucking, mech is worse because Adepts can shade onto tanks. The Warp Prism is better. Makes mech worse. Ravagers can kill mech. Very mobile. The Corrosive Bio can shit on mech, literally. Vipers are bullshit. Makes the air transition against mech even stronger. You have no Ravens, so mech is even less playable because if the game goes to late game, you have no way to counter air anymore. You actually don't have anything to counter air, other than Liberators. Other than that. So really, like, when it boils down to it, the issue is Terran. There's no new way to play the game except massing Liberators with whether you're trying to go mech or whether you're playing, typical bio. The game, you're basically playing Heart of the Swarm against Legacy of the Void, which is horseshit. Like, the game, imagine if Cyclones were as good as Adepts and Ravagers were. Like, imagine if the Cyclone could actually hold a candle to those units right now. It doesn't. But if it did, the game might actually be more balanced and fun to play for Terran. There might actually be more... You might actually be able to go mech again. So, I feel like Blizzard needs to do something about this. They need to make tanks stronger. They need to make the Cyclone cheaper, stronger, change its stats, do something. Cyclone has 120 health. Cost 150, 150, 3 supply. A Marauder cost 100 minerals, 25 gas, has 125 health. Just in case you didn't hear me, let me repeat that again. A Cyclone has 120 health. A Marauder has 125 health. And the Cyclone costs 150, 150. The Marauder costs 125. Does anybody see a problem or an issue here? A very obvious, blatant, not only balance, but like design issue with this? It speaks for itself. Like, it speaks for itself. So yeah, Blizzard needs to do stuff pretty quickly, I think. They're not balancing the game. Like, why do I need to keep making these fucking videos? Like, I mean, I'm gonna make videos regardless, describing the meta as it shifts, but I feel like this is one of these videos that I have to make every so often to try and rile the community into action, into getting, or into, I have to rile up the community into getting Blizzard to actually patch their fucking game, because they're not patching the game. And if the game sits like this for months and months at a time, it's not good. Once again, as a Terran, I can't feel anything but depressed and like really frustrated playing at the moment. The game feels so shitty to play playing Terran, because you're basically, especially, even doubly worse, if you're one of those Terrans out there that was like in Masters or GM, if you're one of those Masters GM Terrans that actually loved playing mech, or if you're one of the Zerger Protoss players that love playing against mech, you'll basically never see that unless you're playing against me, or like maybe one of the other two people that actually plays mech anymore, because like they just made it suck. They made it like really suck. Like, that's why, like, you may have noticed in the last week or two on my stream, I've actually been playing Bio a lot. I've actually been fucking playing Bio. A lot of games too, because, you know, as much as I love playing mech, I want to win games too. And whenever I play mech, like, I'll lose to people. Like, it feels so shitty when I lose to people on ladder that, like, the games that I lose to them with mech because mech is broken, like, the next game I play against that guy, I load up, I play Bio Terran against them, and I, like, beat them with Bio, and, like, I have, like, probably, you know, proportionally, you know, maybe, like, 10% of my games over all that I've played over the course of StarCraft 2 have been Bio games, and then the other 90% have been mech, and I'm beating people with my, not that my Bio is bad or anything, it's just that I don't practice it as much, but I'm beating them with Bio, and I'm now losing to them with mech, which makes no sense whatsoever, because mech is my more practiced strategy. I shouldn't be, like, it's just overall, it's really frustrating, especially if you like playing mech or any strategy that's not Bio every game. You know, I don't know if certain balance developers need to be fired or wake up and, like, acknowledge that there shouldn't only be Bio. Like, most pro games up to this point have mostly been Bio in the first place. It was only at the end of Heart of the Swarm that most Terrans switched over to mech against Zerg, and the only reason Terrans were doing that was because Zergs got so good against Bio that Bio actually was becoming really difficult to play, was becoming more difficult to play than mech was. So there's that. But yeah, anyways, this metagame update, Terran is in really a terrible state at the moment. I will say, on a positive note, the game is more fun to play. So Legacy of the Void, in general, is way more fun, action-packed, for all three races, but it's just, you know, it's really frustrating when the game, I feel like Blizzard said they're gonna patch, iterate, and whenever, like, they just, whatever happens, they're just afraid to patch the game. They're fucking afraid. Like, to be honest, like, they seem really afraid to patch the game. And I don't know why. Because the game could be so much better and in a much healthier state of balance, and a much better racial balance between the three races if they patched way more often. And I think they need to, and they should. But once again, it's up to the community. If the community says nothing, then we'll have like another 6 to 8 months of, you know, Zerg's abusing Broodlord Viper, making ultras, and Terran players just eventually. I mean, who just retired? Fantasy just retired. You know, another Terran player retired. You don't hear about Zerg's retiring, do you? Protoss players not retiring too much, are they? Actually, as a matter of fact, Protoss players fucking coming out of retirement. MC retired. He's fucking coming out. Game is so easy right now to beat Terran and Zerg with Protoss. Protoss players are coming out of retirement. Zerg players don't retire at all, and Terran players are actually just fucking quitting the game. Flash retired, Fantasy retired. Like, the game is like they basically made these players retire. When you think about it. I know that it's like that's not necessarily true, but there is a little bit of truth there that like fucking Flash retired, fucking Fantasy retired. These great players, these great Korean Terran players basically said, nope, fuck this. I'm gonna get my military service done, and I'm gonna be done. Like, I'm just, like, this game is not even worth playing anymore because it's, like, these guys just have an unfair advantage over me. So, once again, that's a little bit of a joke. I'm sort of a little bit, you know, joking there, but I think there's also a tiny bit of truth in that joke as well. Anyways, guys, I hope Blizzard patches the game soon. The game is fucking fun, but it's not balanced. This game, like, this is, you know, this is R8. This is literally R8. You know, I never played CSGO, but the R8 revolver was so fucking imbalanced. Even I heard about it. I'm just a StarCraft player. Fucking, this is like pre-nerf Kassadin in League of Legends. This is, what else is this? Like, this is like Minesweeper where you can see the entire minefield. You just got a map, like, the game balance of SC2 right now is terrible, and patch that shit. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Please leave comments. If you agree with me, that's great. Please say why. If you disagree, say why, but also know that you're fucking wrong, and you're probably one of the reasons why esports is dying, Kappa. No, but really, if you think that there's not some issue right now with the game, if you think Terran is fine, and then they just need to learn how to play, then you probably should just go fuck yourself. And you're one of those same people when Broodlord Infestor was broken. You're one of those same people that was like, let the meta settle. And then 9 months later, like, League of Legends is the top esport. So, you know, don't be one of those guys. Like, you should admit that something is very wrong with the game right now and that Terran needs some help. Cyclones need some help. Terran needs some help. Mech needs some help as well. Do it for the game, guys. Do it for the game we all love. You know, get Blizzard to patch their game. Get Blizzard to fix Terran. We all love this game. We love playing it. It's fun. But it's not balanced. And it needs to be more balanced. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you guys later. Peace out, everybody.